While we are not under any illusion about the presence of the risk of this virus in our midst, we are making tremendous progress that clearly underscores our belief that our aggressive strategy and targeted measures have been effective in combating the spread of COVID-19 in our state. Accordingly, the directives and restrictions were put in place to maintain social distancing must continue, and all residents are advised to strictly follow and comply in the interest of the health and lives of everybody. In addition, the wearing of face masks in all public places is now compulsory throughout the state. Now, in the next 24 hours, the Security Council will meet as to determine the fate of commercial drivers in our state, because this is one area that we have identified that we have not been able to really comply in terms of social distancing. I believe that in the next 24 hours, when the Security Council meets, a decision will be taken either to ban all commercial vehicles from operating in the state, and the government will provide an alternative to that effect. So government bosses are ready, but we are waiting for the Security Council to meet and to take a final decision, because this COVID-19 is a life and death issue. It's not something we can say that it's only by closing our borders. If you see our buses and taxis, the way they pack human beings, you can see there's no compliance in terms of social distancing. So we must have to take a drastic measure to see that we don't transmit this disease. While we agree with Mr. President's decision to gradually reopen the country for business, we shall be guided by the peculiarities of our state and when to relax the measures we have put in place and gradually restore business activities to the state. Until then, I wish to restate that we love all residents of River State. Please maintain social distancing, stay at home, wear face masks in public places, and stay safe. Let me also finally warn some community leaders and residents in Rumokoro, and this is the final time I'm going to warn the leaders and residents of these various communities, Rumokoro, Alimbu, and Rumakoshi, and warn for the last time to either comply with our directives on social distancing and disease on all business activities, including night markets, or risk a total lockdown in this area and a permanent closure of oil mill markets throughout this administration. If they don't desist in this night market that they operate in Rumakoshi, in Alimbu and Rumokoro, then we'll have a total lockdown in Alimbu, in Rumokoro, and then a permanent closure of the oil mill market. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that the pattern of transmission of COVID-19 in the state is evidentially predicated on importation from outside, just as the rate of infection and progression is also relatively low and arithmetical when considered for the date of the index case. Generally, we believe that unless there is sudden and vertical slide into community transmission, we expect our COVID-19 infection and prevalence rates to continue along this low trajectory. This gives us the assurance that our hard work is paying off, and River State is certainly not in any dangerous position when compared to the situation in most other states, and will never be by God's special grace. This is not to say that we are at the peak of this crisis and that everything about the containment and transmission of COVID-19 is under control. No, we are not, because of the challenges occasioned primarily by the negative elements that continue to deliberately undermine and sabotage our efforts to protect our people from this disease. For instance, the 7th infected case was an offshore oil and gas worker who went and passed a night in Lagos hotel before returning to Port Harcourt on the 9th of April 2020 with the aid of security personnel manning our borders. When his symptoms started, he was admitted to a private hospital, St. Martin's Hospital, on the 20th and discharged on the 21st of April 2020 before testing positive to the virus after almost over 2 weeks of close contact with other people. Had the security agencies not compromised their responsibility at the borders, this man would have been prevented from coming into Port Harcourt and threatening the lives of other people with this virus. Again, on the 29th of April 2020, our surveillance team picked up 2 men from the Niger Republic who came into the state from Lagos with the help of security personnel despite the closure of the entry routes into the state. We have trained health workers both in the private and public sectors on infection control measures and appropriate use of personal protective equipment, PPE. We provided PPE for all our health workers directly involved in the fight against COVID-19, and sanitizers and infrared thermometers for us at all public offices. And established the River State Task Force on border closure. We have received 250 bed isolation and treatment tents located at the General Yakubu Gowon Stadium, donated by private sector-led initiative on COVID-19. We have received 1 Genexpert RT-PCR testing machine from Total EMP. We have procured some ventilators as well as received some orders for some private sector donors. In fact, after this press briefing, we're going to River State Teaching Hospital to receive another testing kit of PCR from the Pamo clinics. We are virtually fighting this battle without any tangible material support from the federal government. We are wondering, as most of you may also be, that up to now, the NCDC has not established any testing center in the state, in spite of our position, which socioeconomic and demographic mix and high transmission threat hanging over as a result. Was this deliberate? If not so, why and what was the justification for this dangerous neglect, which is obviously limiting our capacity to expand testing for this virus in the state? But for us as a government, every single new infection of COVID-19 in our state is one too many. We shall therefore continue to take necessary measures to control and possibly end the transmission of this disease in Rivers State, in spite of the enormous challenges and lack of concrete support from the federal government. It is for the very reason that we have taken our effect in our hands with the establishment of the Border Security Task Force, which has been mandated to provide and ensure a watertight situation in all our entry and exit points and prevent any unauthorized entry and or exit of persons and vehicles into the state during the period of the closure. Procurement and distribution of food items to vulnerable households. On the 26th of April 2020, I announced the provision of 2 billion naira by the state government for the procurement of food items from local farmers for distribution to vulnerable households across the state. We also established a credible committee headed by Ambassador Nyesom Ezenwo Wike to undertake the thankless job of distributing the procured foodstuffs and ensure that they get to the targeted groups. Reports reaching us from independent monitors indicate that so far both committees are creditably executing their respective mandates in spite of the difficult logistical challenges that are involved. As a matter of fact, the procurement committee has so far purchased and delivered to our warehouses local food items including garlic, yam, beans, fish, palm oil, plantain, tomatoes and onions worth over 590 million naira. Similarly, the Food Distribution Committee has successfully distributed food packages to vulnerable households in 16 local government areas, namely Obiakpo, Port Harcourt, Ikwere, Eleme, Amuma, Boni, Opobonkoro, Tai, Okrika, Eche, Akukutoro, Asaritoro, Oyibo, Gokana, Kana, and Alba, Ebon and Doni local government areas. Our strategy from the very beginning was to contain, prevent, and minimize the spread of the disease and save the lives of our people. And so far, we can say we're achieving these objectives significantly.
Kano State to combat COVID-19 after the governor of that state complained of neglect. What is your view, sir?
You can see the support the federal government is giving to Kano State government. And the Kano State government has turned around to say, yes, they are happy with the support the federal government is giving to them. Now, if Kano State, who said that they have been abandoned by federal government, is now saying that the federal government, they are happy with the federal government because of the support. And I said, look, federal government has not supported us. What crime have I committed? If they have come to support River State, I'll say the same thing that Kano government said, that they're happy with the support of the federal government. But why will I say I'm happy when the federal government has not given the same treatment to Kano State and the River State? Does it mean that River State is not part of Nigeria? So that is the kind of thing you see happening in this country. There are those they prefer that own the country. There are those they don't see as part of this country. It's most unfortunate. It's most unfortunate.
Your Excellency, you've been at the forefront of reacting to permits granted to oil company workers who are making attempts to enter River State this period. So my question is, in view of the fact that now a staff of an oil company has tested positive for coronavirus, what will the state do going forward in terms of permits to such workers who in the future would attempt or make requests to enter the state? Thank you.
So you can see the challenges we have. And when you speak about this, some local politicians who think that it's only when they speak good of the federal government that when they can get governorship tickets, they begin to tell you, why are you quarreling with the federal government? Nobody quarreling with federal government. All we are saying, look, I want our people to live. We want them to be alive. And you need to support us to see that the measures we have put in place are not being sabotaged. That's what we were asking for. And let nobody deceive them. Because you don't put the life of your workers at risk. You don't. Nobody will be happy to see that. We are only seeking the support of the oil companies. So look, let's work together so that we'll be able to save other lives in the state. Nobody's saying that nobody should go for oil exploration. Nobody's saying so. But in doing that, our people have to be alive. That is our own position.
Your Excellency, we understand that you rejected the federal government's palliative. What is the rationale behind this action when other states are looking for such support?
One of the most annoying things, even though I'm not the only state that has rejected it, most states have rejected it. Oyo said so, Akwa Ibom said so. They are not edible. That is expired rice, you know. And they told us to go to Cross River to go and carry the rice. You can imagine how hungry we are. We have reduced to the level that the federal government is donating rice, 3 lorry loads, 1,800 bags of rice. Then the third river state to go to Cross River to carry the rice. I mean.
Your Excellency, you have listed some areas where the security agencies, have not worked in the interest of the state. May I ask, what is the relationship between the state government and security agencies in the country?
If I do this now, they say, why did I do that? The security people were involved in apprehending people who did not notified the state government of their coming in. They transferred all the security plans. The SS director was transferred. The Air Force commander was transferred. CP was transferred. So what do you expect now? As these ones have come, they are afraid. So that's the problem that we're having. Everything is being politicized. Everything is being politicized. And if this continues, even if you are politicizing this in terms of this pandemic, then you will know that we're into real trouble. If they cannot work with the state government and have to see how they will curb this pandemic, then everybody should prepare for the worst to happen. It's very, very unfortunate. Take, for example, you go to the border. The policemen are afraid they won't do anything because you don't know whom you are going to apprehend. There will be a phone call. He said no. The state government said no. They did not take permission before they come in. The next thing you see, transfer him out. So, what do? There's nothing anybody can do. So I have no personal or bad relationship with the security men, but that when I even look at them, I pity them. I pity them because they're all afraid. They're all afraid. What decision can we take that the above will not be angry? Who is involved in this decision? You can understand. So that's why we have come back to set up our own task force who will help to see that the borders are not as porous as they are now.
Sir, the issue of deportation of Almajiris has become so topical these days. What's your take on this?
Thank you very much. Let me start with the NTA reporter. You know, like I said, this is a country where we have different rules for different persons or different rules for different states. I thank God that it came from my brothers in the north. The governor of Kano said he was going to deport, and he has been deporting Almajiris to Jigawa, to Kaduna, to Bauchi. Who are the Almajiris? Those beggars on the streets. And if you heard what the Kaduna state government said, that most of the deportees of the Almajiris have tested positive, right? Now, but if I was the first person who said that the Almajiris should be deported, federal government would have come up to say, look, nobody has any power to tell a Nigerian to leave the state of his choice of president. That would have been what they were saying. And you would have seen people come out. Why is the government of Rivers State fighting federal government? But because it did not come from Rivers State now, it came from their own state. Federal government says it is good for healthy reasons. But if Rivers State has come up to say that look, these Almajiris are constituting nuisance, they pose health problems, federal government would have issued a statement that nobody has the right to deport any Nigerian. But thank God, and I knew that it would happen so. I didn't say it, they started it, and federal government issued a statement, it was good for the health of those states. So we're trying to sanitize our areas. Know for what reasons, who will be where and who will not be where. There are some people who don't even know where they stay. Okay, so for example now, you see we finished constructing a Bila district, that's the presidential hotel road. And I tried to chase out all those called foreign exchange dealers because they constitute threats to even the hotel. They come up, oh, because they are not from River State. I said, look, this is not the kind of place even we should even stay.
Excellency, the private sector coalition for COVID-19 said they want to donate foodstuff like gari, yam, rice and fish to the state. They want this foodstuff, they claim, to be NAFDAC approved, to be brought from outside the state. What is your reaction to this, Your Excellency, when viewed against the background that you are purchasing and empowering local farmers and fishermen who produce similar products in the state?
That talk of private sector coalition, again, this is what I have always complained against. This is what I have always complained against. Now, I have no quarrel of any group of persons trying to support us. But there are two things I have said. All of us know. Go to Ogoniland, go to Iche, go to Epeye, go to Korea. Where they don't produce garri. Where? They produce quantities of yam. Bags of garri. If you tell me now, look, but if they are bringing garri and yam here, if you don't buy the ones that River State will produce, in order to empower our own local farmers, they should take it and go. We will not die of hunger. We will survive. If you are even bringing fish, who are those who produce more fish than us? If I tell Andon and Bonny people today that in next 1 week I need a certain number of fish in kilos, they will go to the high seas and produce fish and come. So now I have stopped them of no market. How would they sell the ones that they have produced? So if they are bringing fish, not if they are carton fish, we have proper fish. Go on, let us go and buy it from them. We are not saying give us the money. We will show you where you go and buy it. Then they will feel happy that they have been empowered. Then you give us the fish, which you have bought from them. Then we give it to our people, those who don't have fish. But not to say you have given a contract somewhere. There is somebody who can produce whatever from anywhere. Then you exclude River State. Then you want me to come and take. I will not take.
Your Excellency, presently states are crying for resources as regards to managing this or curtailing the spread of coronavirus. But recently, FAC released 11 billion naira to the Nigerian police force. So what is your reaction to this?
As per 11 billion naira taken for the Federation account, I said no. I told our lawyers to continue to prepare the paper. I told them, look, prepare the paper, we'll go to court. We can't continue to be slaves. We can't continue. Nobody says to support police is not good. But if you must take my money, you must let me know. You must let me know, do you consent to this? Yes or no? If we are not in a military system, that is not the way it's done. Yes, this is why people will complain. Why are you fighting? You are not fighting for the government. We are saying the right thing should be done. So I'm not supporting it. And I've told the chairman of government forum, I've told the district government forum that the state government will challenge it in court.
Recently, your colleague from Cross River State said he would not allow NCDC official in without being